Happy Labor Day, Rockers fans. Welcome back to BB&T Point. It's been a few days, and we're happy to have you here with us. Kevin McMahon and Kendrick Fruits here with you live in High Point, North Carolina, as the High Point Rockers host the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Kevin McMahon and Kendrick Fruits here with you at the ballpark. Thank you so much for spending your Labor Day here with us. What a way to wrap up your Labor Day weekend here on Labor Day. A little baseball here at the ballpark. It was supposed to be a 4 o'clock start here for the Rockers and the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. The Rockers were on their way back from Texas this morning, so the game got pushed back for another hour, but that's okay. A little extra time we get to spend with you, and as we get further into the evening, you get to spend your evening watching some High Point Rocker baseball. That sounds pretty good to me, Kendrick.
Yeah, it absolutely does, and if I could just say a little personal note real quick. I feel like as far as American sports or whatever is concerned, I watched college football all day on Saturday.
Let me hear it.
Which it doesn't get much more American than American football.
Come on.
I watched NASCAR yesterday. I was at Darlington for the Southern 500.
Come on.
And now I am here for baseball, the national pastime here at BB&T Point. So couldn't be more excited to be here today. It's been a sports-filled weekend for me, and no better way to wrap it up than another edition of High Point Rockers baseball.
Dare I say the Triple Crown you experienced this weekend.
It's pretty solid.
A nice win for your App State Mountaineers as well.
Absolutely. App State, Alabama, Wake Forest, all of my teams picked up the W.
You're doing well.
Saturday.
And we're worried about our team here tonight. We're worried about both teams here tonight. That's what we got. Worried is the wrong term. Focused on is the term I should have used here. We're focused on our teams here today. It's Southern Maryland Blue Crabs as they take on the High Point Rockers. The Rockers are looking for a big series here this week because they are coming off of a series sweep against the Sugarland Skeeters. However, they were not doing the sweeping. They were swept, and they're going to try to turn that around. Your takeaways from a tough trip to Texas for the Rockers.
Man, the first thing that stands out to me is just the fact that one of the team's biggest strengths is their offense, and they just could not get the offense going this weekend. 3-game series, and the Rockers scored a total of 5 runs. So, that's usually not something that's ever an issue for this team, but they were just having a hard time getting the bats going and scoring against the Sugarland Skeeters. But another thing, I've got to say that despite the fact that he only pitched 3 innings yesterday, and I don't know, maybe it was planned. I don't know anything about it. Chris Pennell was solid for his 3 innings yesterday before the Rockers turned it over to the bullpen. So, had a couple of rough starts before him on Friday and Saturday, but Pennell bounced back with a pretty solid couple of innings yesterday. So, the biggest thing here is you have a really tough schedule. You play Thursday at home. You go on the road immediately for that 3-game series. You fly back this morning, like you mentioned, and you got to play another ball game. That is taxing. I mean, flying on an airplane and going through all the process is a very taxing thing. And then you have to go out there and play a very physically demanding game and a mentally demanding game. And that's asking a lot. But obviously this team is full of professionals, and they're going to go out here and give it their best shot. And the biggest thing for the Rockers, hopefully the saying "there's no place like home" rings true today, and hopefully it gets their offense back on track today.
We're looking forward to seeing what happens here this afternoon and this evening and in this series. It's the High Point Rockers and the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. And because we've just seen the Blue Crabs, there might be a little extra name recognition that registers with High Point Rockers fans as opposed to some other teams. And there are some stars on this High Point Rocker team, and there are some stars on this Southern Maryland Blue Crabs team. 2 that jump to mind: Mean Dean Green and Darryl Thompson.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we're going to see a healthy dose of both of them in this series. Thompson's pitching Wednesday. And then obviously you look at, Dean Green and the year that he's had. He's obviously not been with the team particularly long. He joined midway through the season, but he's been an absolute force ever since he joined the team. And He's hitting 304 right now, 4 home runs, 27 RBIs in just 36 games. So the biggest thing is his average has dropped 50-some points since the last time we saw him, because I think he was in his second week with the team. But still a very formidable hitter, a very dangerous hitter. And he's not in the lineup tonight, but that'll be a guy that could potentially make a big impact in this series. And Darryl Thompson, last time we saw him, a complete game and just absolutely had the Rockers' numbers. So hopefully they'll get him figured out for Wednesday.
Point I want to bring up about Darryl Thompson, I think it was last week where he had a very similar game against the Long Island Ducks, held them to 1 run, I believe, which, as you heard us talk about the Long Island Ducks on these airwaves, about how much you and I like the Ducks as an offense, how outstanding they are and how hard they are to beat, and the fact that they really haven't gone into a slump. I don't think they've lost more than 3 games in a row this year. If it hasn't been 3, it definitely hasn't been more than 5. That's how good this Ducks team has been. Your Rockers are in that same breath, though. I don't think they've lost more than 5 or 6 games either. 4 is the most losing streak the Rockers have been on, so I'm sure Ducks fans are saying the same things we're saying. But, man, do they have a great offense. And Darryl Thompson was just phenomenal when he played the Rockers, and he was phenomenal again when he played the Ducks. So he is a tough out, and the Rockers will see him on Wednesday. But we got 2 great pitchers pitching tonight for the High Point Rockers and the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. I saw your gears were spinning, Kendrick. You had another point, so I'll let you make that point, and then I want you to introduce Rocker fans to their brand new pitcher. But go ahead with your point.
I was just going to say another quick thing about Thompson. You talk about how good he is. You look at him, he's 6th in the league in ERA, 1st in the league in wins, 1st in strikeouts, tied for 1st in complete games. He's up there tied for 1st in shutouts. He's 1st in innings pitched, and he's 6th in opponent's batting average. So he's just up there in every single category. And I'm sorry, I completely missed the next name. Am I introducing the Rockers pitcher tonight? Or what?
Yeah, because he's a brand new addition. Fans may not know who he is.
Yeah, this is a new pitcher for the High Point Rockers. They just added him last week. His name is Craig Stem. And if you're a Southern Maryland fan, you should know Craig Stem because he pitched for Southern Maryland the first half of the year. And this guy has been phenomenal. He spent some time with Leon in the Mexican League recently, just was his last game there, I believe, was the 21st of August. But listen to his Southern Maryland numbers from the beginning of this year, Kevin. 4-3 record, 2.74 ERA in 12 starts. This is a guy who was a 2019, that's this year, All-Star in the Atlantic League, and he has the numbers to back it up. Not a big strikeout pitcher, but he's not going to give up a whole lot of hits, and he's a pitch-to-contact guy. And he gets a lot of soft contact. So I feel like this is a big addition to this High Point team when you look at how good defensively they are on the field. So I think Craig Stem is going to come in tonight. He's going to be excited, amped up, ready to go, and his defense is going to be excited to play behind him. I have big expectations for this gentleman on the mound tonight.
That's number 48 you see out there heading out to the mound. It should be a good one here tonight as the High Point Rockers host the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. I will spoil one thing in the lineup real quick. You might have seen Quincy Lattimore jogging out there. Don't worry, folks. He's in the lineup, but as a DH. We'll be right back. This is High Point Rocker Baseball. Let's throw it for the national anthem here.
For the playing of our national anthem. Thank you.
Welcome back to BB&T Point. Kevin McMahon and Kendrick Fruits here with you. Happy Labor Day, everybody. And let's get started. Let's get ready for some High Point Rocker baseball. As the Rockers host the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, let's give you that lineup, shall we, here. For the Blue Crabs is Kent Blackstone leading off, the second baseman, number 6, the leadoff man. Number 2, it's a guy who I think is just an outstanding shortstop, and Edwin Garcia. Third, it's John Griffin, the DH. Fourth, it's one of the best names in all of Atlantic League Baseball, Tony Thomas, the second baseman. And I'm just realizing no Dean Green here tonight in the lineup for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Fifth, it's Corey Vaughn. Sixth, it's Charlie Valerio. Seventh, it's Joe Benson. Eighth, it's Josh McAdams. And ninth, it is Ruby Silva. And on the mound for the Rockers, it's newcomer Craig Stem.
Yeah, we just talked about his numbers. I'll give them to you one more time. 4-3 on the year, 2.74 ERA for Southern Maryland. This is his first High Point Rockers start. But here's a stat I didn't give a moment ago that I do want to share. In starts coming after a team loss, which remember, the Rockers have lost 3 in a row, Stem is 3-1 in 7 starts, so he's very serviceable, and he's a good guy to come in here and try to stop the bleeding for the Rockers today.
We're looking forward to it as Kent Blackstone steps in here for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. The first pitch is a ball, 1-0. Let's rock here from BB&T Point.
Stemmy's a right-hander. He works pretty quickly from the far third base side.
The 1-0, Stem, that one down low again, 2-0.
And obviously this is the first time we're seeing him here, so we're trying to get a good read on him as well.
This one hit on the ground over to second base. Russell is there. The throw over to Cardulo for out number 1. If you realize by that last call I just made, everybody in their normal spot. Let's see where everybody's at.
Yeah, going around the outfield first. Richie Schaefer is in left field. Miles Schroeder in center. Jared Mitchell is in right. Third to first around the infield. Hector Gomez at third. Everybody get excited. Giovanni Alfonso back at shortstop for the Rockers. Michael Russell at second. The first baseman, Cardulo. Matt Jones behind the plate.
Welcome back to Giovanni Alfonso. We're happy to have him back.
Game time temperature, 87 degrees. It'll drop down to the low 80s by the end of this game. No chance of rain. It's a beautiful evening here in High Point.
Edwin Garcia at the plate. He fouls that one away. 1-1.
Garcia, 242 hitter, 3 home runs, 28 driven in out of that number 2 spot.
The 1-1 to Garcia. That one outside, 2-1.
Southern Maryland's come into this game with a 3-game losing streak as well. We were talking about the Rockers struggling a little bit.
The 2-1 to Garcia. That one got right past Hector Gomez as that one gets into left field for a single for Garcia with 1 out.
In fact, before that 3-game losing streak, they were right there among the division leaders in the Freedom Division. They've played themselves now into 7 games out of first place with that 3-game losing streak, coupled with York winning 3 in a row. So last time we were on air, they were just 4 games out of first, and now it's all the way down to 7.
That's the Blue Crabs.
The Blue Crabs,
yes.
Yeah.
John Griffin makes his way here to the plate for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. The man on in Garcia. The first pitch in there for a strike.
The point I was trying to make simply being that it felt like a 3-team race in that division last week, and they've kind of played themselves out of it, at least for the moment.
And they were a team that was playing hot. They've cooled off a little bit. And for being honest, they'll have the Rockers a tiny bit here. They've dropped 2 series in a row, which is uncharacteristic for this Rockers team. As we've mentioned, the most games they've lost in a row is 4. They're trying to snap a losing streak here tonight to make sure that they don't tie that number tonight. They're on a 3-game losing streak right now. A win is needed here for the Rockers. Here's the 0-2 to Griffin. That one just inside for a ball, 1-2. It'd be a big moment here for the Rockers to get some momentum and win this game today and then try to rattle off a few wins this week. A sweep right here would put them in really good position for the playoffs. Garcia with a little bit of a lead here. The 1-2 to Griffin. That one inside for a ball. 2-2, 1 out.
Well, they've got a pretty solid group of pitchers coming up as well as far as who is going to be pitching the remainder of this series. And Edwin Carr will have his work cut out for him. Darryl Thompson on Wednesday. But get excited for this one. Michael Bowden, who's been out for a little while, is coming back to pitch on Thursday.
The 2-2 to Griffin. He chases after that one for a strike. Strike 3, a strikeout by Stem. His first one in a High Point Rocker uniform. 2 outs in the inning. This is Stem's first start for the High Point Rockers.
Looks pretty good right now. I mean, picking up that strikeout there. I mentioned earlier he's usually a pitch-to-contact pitcher, and he works quickly and efficiently, and he's not wasting time around the zone. He's going after these hitters.
Tony Thomas at the plate. The first pitch to Thomas is upstairs for a ball. 1-0. 1-0, 2 outs. The 1-0 to Thomas. He fouls that one straight up and back for a strike. 1-1. The 1-1 to Thomas. That one a ball. 2-1.
Stem, one of 2 pitchers that the High Point Rockers added last week. John Brownell, another one. Expect we'll see him at some point soon. Teams are trying to make these last-minute additions to their...
The 2-1, that one in there for a strike. 2-2, and Garcia, who was about to make a move back over to first. Continue.
I was just going to say, teams are making those last-minute additions to their team as they get ready for a playoff push. We're getting a guy in Brownell who was pitching for Lincoln in the Independent League, 8-5 this year. So everybody's trying to get better here.
The 2-2 to Thomas. He chases after that one for strike 3. Stem looks good. 2 strikeouts in the top of the first as a High Point Rocker. We head to the bottom of the first. This is High Point Rocker Baseball. We are still scoreless here.
Peggy Rojas, host of Viviendo una Vida en Balance here at Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you can come back and check my show, Viviendo una Vida en Balance, where we talk about life hacks to live a life in balance. And the show's in Spanish. A new show comes out every Monday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and share with your friends. Again, thank you for checking out the following broadcast in Public House Media.
This is Julianne Condia, host of Rewritten here on Public House Media. Thank you so much for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Rewritten, where we will talk about you having limitless potential and can rewrite your story at any time. No matter your background, your past, or current situation, you can have the type of life you crave. A new show comes out every single Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Rewritten. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is John Lauder, host of The Cheap Seats here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, The Cheap Seats, where we talk about sports from the fans' perspective. A new show comes out every Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of The Cheap Seats. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Kim Meyer, the host of Choose to Rise here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Choose to Rise.
Welcome back to BB&T Point. Kevin McMahon, Kendrick Fruits here with you at the ballpark. Stephen Cardulo, the leadoff man here. The pitcher for the Blue Crabs, John Hayes. The first pitch to Cardulo, in there for a strike 0-1. Kendrick's going to let you know a little bit about the man on the mound, John Hayes.
2-5 this year, 4.20 earned run average, 30th appearance, 9th start, so he spent most of the year out of the bullpen, but he can make a start when called upon, like today. 50 strikeouts in 81 innings.
The 0-1 to Cardulo, that one down in the turf, as you see the white chalk coming up a little bit off of the turf as that one got down in the box. 1-1.
And I tell you, part of the scouting report on John Hayes today has to be patient.
Here's the 1-1 to Hayes, and that one in there for a strike on Cardulo. 1-2. Kendrick, if we know one thing about the High Point Rockers, it's their ability to be patient in the box.
Absolutely, and I talked about the fact that Hayes has 50 strikeouts in 81 innings. He's also walked 50 in 81 innings.
The 1-2 on the way here to Cardulo. That one down low as well. 2-2. Both strikes have been pretty good pitches. Both balls have missed pretty low. 2-2, no outs. Here is the 2-2 to Cardulo. He's swinging at this one. Pops it straight up. It's going to be playable in the infield. A lot of guys coming in on it, but it's McAdams who makes the play, coming all the way over from first base. With one out in the inning, here comes Jared Mitchell.
Not to bring up a sore subject or anything, Kevin, but I vote that we not have any controversial fly balls hit down the left field line today or the entire series.
That'd be phenomenal. You can sign me up for that. One out here in the inning. The first pitch to Mitchell's outside for a ball, 1-0.
Only reason I bring that up seemingly randomly is the fact that Cardulo got burned, I think, twice with that last week. 2 times hitting a home run or what looked like a home run.
The 1-0 to Mitchell. That one down low for a ball as well. 2 balls, no strikes. 1 out here for Jared Mitchell. 1 out in the inning.
Mitchell hit his 9th home run of the year recently, so he's looking to join double-digit club.
Here is the 2-0 to Mitchell, and that one is a ball as well. So it is 3-0. Hayes is 1 ball away from walking Jared Mitchell. The 3-0 to Mitchell, and there's ball 4, so a 4-ball walk to Jared Mitchell. Hector Gomez makes his way to the plate.
And sometimes when your offense is struggling a little bit, it all just starts with getting a base runner or 2. And then all of a sudden you've created an opportunity for yourself, and then you capitalize on that opportunity. But you cannot build that opportunity if you don't have guys on base.
And I know it's Stem's very first start, but he's a guy who comes in with a lot of hype. He's a guy who people feel really good about. So here's the pitch to Hector Gomez, and that one's a strike 0-1. He's a guy that comes in with a lot of positive vibes behind him. And with that being said, I think that, you don't want to pencil him in for a shutout, but also you feel like he might be a little extra fired up today on a new team against his former team. You feel like you might get a good start from him. Here comes Gomez on the ground over. He hits this one to Garcia. Can the Blue Crabs turn 2? Yes, they do. So a nice play started by Garcia. They gets all the way over to McAdams as Mitchell's out at second, Gomez out at first. A double play, and Hayes gets out of the bottom of the first. We head to the second inning, still scoreless here. This is High Point Rocker Baseball on Labor Day here at the ballpark.
And this is Elizabeth, co-host of Beauties and Headcanons here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Once you are done with this episode, we hope you'll come check out our show, Beauties and Headcanons, where we talk nerdy to you about fandoms, fan fiction, and all pop culture for nerds that you can think of. A new show comes out every Friday.
Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Beauties and Headcanons. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Dr. Mariah White, host of Your Life Matters, here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Your Life Matters, where we talk about dreaming big and dreaming bold to reach your wildest dreams in both your health and your happiness. A new show comes out every single Tuesday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Your Life Matters. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Daniel Poppy, host of How to Write Good here on Public House Media. I just want to thank you for listening to the following broadcast brought to you by Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope that you'll come check out my show, How to Write Good.
Welcome back to BB&T Point. Kevin McMahon, Kendrick Fruits here with you. Craig Stem on the mound, Corey Vaughn at the plate. He is the fifth hitter in the lineup here for the Blue Crabs. The first pitch to him is inside for a ball, 1-0.
And he's one of the most dangerous hitters in this lineup, a 282 hitter, but he boasts 14 home runs and 42 RBIs.
The 1-0 to Vaughn, that one misses for a ball as well, so it's 2-0 to Corey Vaughn. That one in there for a strike, 2-1.
Check that, he's a 265 hitter. Still dangerous, 14 home runs, as I mentioned.
That one in there for a strike as well to Vaughn, 2-2. No outs here in the top of the first for Stem. Already has 2 strikeouts here in the ball game. How about that? Gets down 2-0, comes back and makes it a 2-2 count. The 2-2, that one takes a bounce to Jones, 3-2.
You know, on the one hand, you talked about the fact that, you know, he's got all the potential to pitch a really good game today. On the other hand, you can feel a little too amped up sometimes playing against a former team and first game in a new uniform.
That one in there for strike 3 as Vaughn swings at it. Strikeout for Craig Stem, make that number 3 on the day.
I was about to say, so sometimes, you know, what you have to do is just stay within yourself, remind yourself to just pitch your type of game and not let the moment get too big. But it certainly seems through the first inning and the third that he's 100% in control right now.
And usually you worry about being a little too extra pumped up at the beginning of the game, that first inning. Once you get through that first inning, you're probably okay. Here's the first pitch to Valerios. He fouls this one away. That one almost came back in and got him. Luckily, he got out of harm's way there. He kind of smiles. That one bounces back onto the turf and bounced all the way in front of home plate. So luckily, everybody's okay. He hit that one hard. And the Blue Crabs are making contact, but they're hitting it foul. They're not hitting it in play. Here's the 0-1 to Valerio. That one came in near him. He has to slide back. 1-1, 1 out.
Which is kind of what I said at the beginning of the game. The 3 strikeouts are a little unusual based track record of Craig Stem, but he's a pitch-to-contact pitcher.
Charlie Valerio goes way down to one knee for that one in the turf. 1-2 as he's unable to connect.
The old saying, if it starts high, let it fly. If it starts low, let it go. Well, that one started low, and he went for it anyway.
1-2, Valerio, the 6th hitter in this lineup. The 1-2 to Valerio, that one bounces off the front of the plate for a ball and rolls to the backstop. 2-2 as Jones goes down and chases it. Valerio staying put.
He tries the exact same pitch, and if it works the pitch before and you have the edge in the count 1-2, why not try it again?
The 2-2 to Valerio. He takes a swing at that one down on the turf. Another strikeout for Craig Stem. And Edwin Carl might be a little nervous about that strikeout record.
Well, not only is that his 4th strikeout already, that's his 4th consecutive batter he has struck out, which has got to be close to some sort of team record already with consecutive batters that a pitcher has struck out.
4 strikeouts in a row, and that comes after a hit to the second hitter in the game. And other than that, he has been flawless. as this one is swung at by Joe Benson, but he is unable to connect to that one. And all things considered, if all you do is give up a little light single so far, you're pretty good. This is basically a no-hitter, even though it's one hit. That single was not much of a threat. Here's the 0-1 to Benson. That one down for a ball, 1-1. Not only was it not much of a threat, it didn't end up hurting the Rockers. The Blue Crabs weren't able to do much with that runner there. It was hit by Edwin Garcia, who we'll talk about later. I just love him. I think he does a great job. The 1-1 to Benson, and that's a ball as well, 2-1. Garcia might be one of the most underrated guys in the league. I just think maybe you don't hear as much about him as you do the other teams because of, the Blue Crabs not having. Here's the 2-1. And that one in their 4-strike 2-2. The Blue Crabs not having maybe their best season, but he has had a good year. I've really enjoyed watching him.
Yeah, you look at every team, you could probably pick one or two players that really fly under the radar, but they don't get the appreciation they deserve.
Here's the 2-2 from Stem. He's trying to end the inning by striking out the side, and that one was close. It's 3-2. And that is down for ball 4, so that will walk Benson there.
That's a good-looking pitch there from Craig Stem, and most of the Rockers infield thought that ended the inning as they started to take off back to the dugout, but he doesn't get the calls. Close pitch. One good thing about Craig Stem, well, there's a lot of good things about Craig Stem, and I apologize. Like I said, I was at the racetrack at Darlington last night, so I don't remember if I've said this yet or not today.
Okay, I'll be the broadcast conscious here, and I'll try to tell you if you said it or not. McAdams at the plate.
The good thing about Stem, a lot of times when you bring in a new pitcher, sometimes you got to build their pitch count up. They started with Bowden. I think he started at 30 pitches to 45 to 60. He's been starting all year with a couple of different teams, so he's got a full leash to go today.
Here is the 1-0 to McAdams. He hits this one high. It's going to be foul. Will it be playable for Jared Mitchell? Yes! So that'll be the third out here in the inning, and another guy gets on, but it's not a big deal there for Stem as he gets out of the inning. Nice play by Jared Mitchell. He covers so much ground in a quick amount of time. We head to the bottom of the second inning. Craig Stem looks great through 2. We head to the bottom of the second. This is High Point Rocker Baseball.
Burge, host of Your Soccer Passport here on Public House Media. After this episode, come join us on a trip around the soccer world as we discuss club and country every Tuesday. Stamp your soccer passport by subscribing on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your Public House Media podcasts. And thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
What's up, everybody? This is Christian Heimel, host of Press Row here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Press Row, where we talk about the biggest issues in sports with the analysts, experts, and reporters who cover them. No nonsense, hard-hitting interviews on the sports topics you're talking about. A new show comes out every single Thursday. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Press Row. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Madeline, host of Crowned and Dangerous here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come back to check out my show, Crowned and Dangerous, where Jessica and I talk about our time in the pageant world. A new show comes out bi-weekly on Thursdays. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Crowned and Dangerous. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Liz Colburn, host of The Morning Uplift here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come back and check out my show, The Morning Uplift.
Welcome back to the ballpark. Kevin McMahon and Kendrick Fruits here with you on Labor Day here in the bottom of the second inning. Quincy Lattimore at the plate. John Hayes on the mound. The first pitch to Quincy way above his head there for a ball 1-0. The High Point Rockers are looking to give their man on the mound a little bit of support as he is off to a great start is Craig Stem. The second pitch to Lattimore is a ball as well, 2-0.
Craig Stem is quickly being introduced to the mystique of playing here at BB&T Point. Keep it close for 6 or 7 innings and then wait for the offense to do what they do.
That one a ball as well, 3-0, and it might be a leadoff walk here for Quincy Lattimore. Like we said, the Rockers will look for a little bit of help any way they can get it here. The 3-0 to Lattimore. He hit that one down the left field line. There's that pesky left field line. But not close. The 3-1 to Lattimore. That one comes in near him, and he will walk to first base.
All right, Kevin, I have a very relevant High Point Rockers trivia question for you.
Sure.
I will give you a couple of hints, though.
Okay.
Because it's not the easiest question.
Okay.
Name the 3 players on the Rockers roster whose last team was the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Now, here are your two hints.
That's tough.
Here are your 2 hints. One of them is our starting pitcher today.
Right, correct them.
All 3 of them are pitchers.
Richie Schaefer showing the bunt here, and he is almost making it down to first. He's thrown out at first, but that moves Quincy Lattimore over. Not very often do you see a guy with 23 home runs show the bunt.
But you know what's interesting about that, Kevin? I didn't mean to cut you off, but he's been doing that a lot more recently. In the last month or so, Richie Schaefer has shown he is not afraid to lay down a bunt, and he's showed to be a pretty good bunter, too.
You got me stumped on the Michael Russell here at the plate for the Rockers with 1 out. Quincy Lattimore over at second base.
All right, I'll give you another hint.
That one in there for strike 0-1.
They're both relievers.
I figured, because I know where everybody else is coming from. I figured it's not Ryan Kelly because he came from the Patriots. So I'm trying to think. I want to say Chase Hutchinson, but I think that's wrong. Here's the 0-1 to Michael Russell, and that one is a strike as well, 0-2.
Chase Hutchinson's last team was Somerset.
Okay, so I knew I was in the Atlantic League. Oh, man. Is it Dusty Isaacs?
No.
No, I'm even looking at the sheet now. I'm not looking at the other ones. Lattimore a healthy lead. The 0-2 to Russell. He hits this one into right field, but it is caught by Silva, and it's not deep enough to move Lattimore over, so he'll stay put.
All right, you want the answer?
No, because I know it's not Sergey. It's not Tolliver. It's not Van Meter, or he's